Hey there, welcome to this Squarespace walkthrough. I'm Jasmine, and today I'm going to take you on a tour of the Squarespace platform quickly. All right, so this is your dashboard. This is what you see when you log in. If you had a Squarespace template transferred to you, this is where you'll see it populated as well. So to go to the website, you're either going to click on Go to Website or the website button. It doesn't matter. Okay, so once that loads, you're going to see the Squarespace menu to the left and then the editor to the right. So starting with the menu, let's start with website. This is where you're going to see all of the pages of your website. It's broken down into two sections, the main navigation and the not linked section. So the main navigation is what you see at the top of your page here. And then a not linked is, you won't see that here. So if you want a button or a certain text linked to a certain page, this is where you'll have that. To put a page into a different section, you'll just click on it, hold it, drag it, and drop it. Now to go to your different pages, you'll just click on that page here. You have to do that in order to edit it. Now, if you scroll all the way down, you're going to see Systems Pages. Now, this is where you'll see your 404 page, checkout, and lock screen. This is where you design those. So with 404 page, it has a system default, and it already says this right here. If you want it to look a certain way, you can actually design that page and link it to that page like this. Now with the checkout page, this is where you would style it here, background color, the site logo, title, headers, things like that. And the same thing with the lock screen. This is what pops up when, if you wanted to put a password on the website for anyone to be able to log into. This is the screen that'll pop up. And this is what you can actually change the layout of it, add some images and some styling to this too. Okay, so that's the system pages. Now the website tools, this is where you would add your custom CSS. If you were to have any, you would click it, you would put it here. Like if you wanted to upload your custom fonts and change some styling that Squarespace doesn't do on its own. Same thing here. This is where you would enter some code if you would need to. I don't have a announcement bar on here, but this is where you would add this. You enable it, and then you would click what, put in the text that you would want it to say, and then also a URL if you wanted to go to a certain page. Same thing if you would want a promotional pop-up in a mobile information bar. The cookies and visitor data, this is where you would, if you wanted like a cookie banner to come up to say, you know, hey, this site is using cookies. And if you would want the user to, you know, opt in or out, they can do that there. You can set that up. Okay, so that is website tools. That is the whole website tab. Now for the selling, this is for all things. If you have any digital products or products that you will want to sell, this is where you put all of this in. And it has products, orders, finance, discounts, invoicing, and selling tools. Squarespace is really good about having all of that in one area for you to make it easier. For marketing, like email campaigns and marketing tools, that's all here for you too, so that you're able to grow your audience and see the traffic that you have to your website. For the contact tab, this is where all the information for if you have any subscribers or customers, all the information would be displayed here. Okay, and then analytics. This will show the amount of traffic that you have, any visitors to your website, things like that. And then scheduling. I don't have anything to do with scheduling on this website, but if you did, this is where you would set this up to have customers book appointments if you would like that functionality. Okay, so that is that tab. Okay, so that is all of the menu tabs for this. The asset library, this is where all of your media is going to go, all your images and graphics, all in this one place. So if you wanted to upload, you can do it all at once, or you can do that through the editor. Your settings under website, this is where you can, like that lock screen that we talked about, you can set up for it to be password protected, and this is where you would do that. Public, so that anyone can see your website, or private. Usually when you're creating the website or editing it, you don't want anyone to be able to go to it. So you would do this here. Back to website. You can do other things like adding a favicon, any social links or social sharing, Pinterest save buttons. If you wanted to import your blog from like WordPress, you can do that here too. Under domains and email, this is where you would set up your domain. You already get one generated with Squarespace, so I do recommend getting your own. Set up Google Workspace if you have that with your business. Selling, this is that same selling tab. It shows you different areas that you can customize, like your cart, shipping, things like that. Marketing, this is where you can set up your SEO appearance. Search engine optimization is what that stands for. This is how you look on Google. Any third-party tools, Squarespace has its own extension store. There's a lot of different things like live chat. If you want that incorporated on your website, this is where you would add that. Some of these you do have to pay for, so. Permissions and ownership. This is where if you wanted to invite other people to work on your website, you would be able to invite them as a contributor, give them certain permissions, or this is how designers transfer websites to other customers too. Billing, this is the payment information for your website. And developer tools, this is where if you do have a web developer or a designer working on things, this is an area that they can do some back-end things on your website. Okay, so this is all the settings. To get back to that dashboard, you would click your name down here, and it's going to bring you right back here. So to go back, go to website. Okay, now we went through the Squarespace menu and all the things that offers. So let's go to the editor. Okay, like I said, to go to the different pages with the editor, you would click on that certain page. Now, once you're here, when you hover over something, you will see the blue box hover around that. That means that is what you would edit once you click on it like that. So this is what you would do to change any text. With the templates, a lot of the things are already here, like the image placement, the headers and text and things like that. So you want to change it to what your brand would say to make it more personalized. Like this image, hover over the edit, which is like a pencil. You would replace it with a file that you uploaded, something that's already in the asset library, or you can browse Squarespace's images, and they have a bunch of images you can choose from too. So your heading, these are lines that you can add, and you do that by going to your add block button right here. Whenever you're in a section, you'll see this populate over here to the left. So in this section, you see it there. This section, you see it here. So when you click that, you'll be able to see all of these things that you can add to your page or to that section. So your text, buttons, if you want a newsletter, lines, shapes, things like that. And with the section itself, you'll be able to add like a background. So on the right, you'll see the edit section. Whenever you go to a new section, it'll populate there. So if you were to edit a section and want to change the background, you would go to background, do that there. Colors, this is, and we'll get to the site styles, but this is where your site's colors are. You'll get to change you can change each one for each section if you want to. Like this darkest is like a dark background with white text. And let's say that you wanted to, just so that you can see what it looks like, if you wanted to add a shape. Your shapes can go on top of things, it can go behind things, and you can see that here. It'll have move backward or move forward if you were able to. So if we move backward, as you can see, like it goes behind the image. We can do that fully. We can bring that forward. Things like that. And to edit the footer, you would have to click on Edit Site Footer. It's different from the page. So when you do that, you'll see that the page itself is kind of darkened. You're not able to edit this while you're clicked on that. So to edit on that, you would have to click back on it. So edit your site footer. This is where you can add your navigation. You can, same thing with the ad block. You can add text, buttons, images, shapes. So you can really customize your footer if you want to. And then it's its own section too. So you can edit the section. Back to the page. To edit your navigation, you would have to edit the site header. So it's the same as the footer. When you click on that, you can edit the site title and logo. I just have a title here. You can add your actual logo here. If you click on that, your main navigation, you would be able to edit that if you click on that. And then just the overall design, you would click on Edit Design. Okay, so you would want to save. If you do change anything, I would save, but I'm not changing or anything. So now the site styles. This is where you have you would change the fonts, colors, if you wanted animations throughout the site. So whenever this a page loads, as you can see, like the content kind of fades in, that's an animation that you can add over here. So let's start with fonts. Okay, so with the fonts, you have different text that you can edit. So you have headings, paragraphs, buttons, and miscellaneous. So with headings, let's just start there. To change the actual font, you will go to Family, browse all fonts, and then you can scroll through and pick one that you want. Or if you know of one, you can type it in and search in here to pick it. So all your headings will be this font. The font weight, which is the boldness of the text, you can change that there. The style, whether it's italicized, the line height, letter spacing, text transform is whether you want it all uppercase, lowercase, and then the headings itself. So you get 4. So heading 1 is usually the biggest, and then 4 is the smallest. That's usually what you use for smaller headings like this. So to change the size of it, you would go here. This is the heading 2. So drag it to make it bigger, make it smaller, like that. And that's basically the same thing that you do with the paragraphs too. As you can see, you get 3 paragraphs. You'll be able to change the font of this too. Same way, you would browse all fonts, search if you want to, the font weight of it, the style, same thing with the text transform, and then the size of the 3 paragraphs too. Now the colors, this is where you put your brand coloring. It usually goes from lightest to darkest. And then it has, you get different themes, like I said, with this section. So when I hover over this, you see that the theme for this one section is darkest 1. Let me go to a different one. You see that it's light 1. Now, with those certain themes, what you can do is, let's say this is light 1. Let's click on the edit button. For the section background, it's this color. You can change that color for that section background. You can change the text color for that background too. So you can really customize each section to be a different color and for the background and text if you wanted to, so that you're not like individually going in and changing, okay, this background this text this. So it makes it really easier to do that. To edit the actual colors, go to edit palette. You click on each one and then you change the actual color that you want it to. They give you some presets down here, but if you have your own, then you of course you would enter that here. I have it on a hex code. There's also RGB and HSL. Let's go back. Those are your themes. I can go more in depth on that on another video. This is just to quickly go through everything. Like I said, the animations are here. Spacing of the actual page. Buttons. This is where you have 3 buttons for each section theme. So it'll be primary, secondary, tertiary. So the text, you'll be able to pick here, browse all fonts to pick the text. The shape of it, whether you want it a square, a pill-like shape there, whether you want it filled or not filled, and then the spacing of the actual button here. And then you can do that for primary, secondary, or tertiary. For forms, this is where you can change the style of the form, whether you want the boxes to be square, pill-like, or lines. You can change that, as well as the border thickness of the boxes and colors and spacing. And then your image blocks. They have different types of image blocks. They have poster, card, overlap, collage, which is usually what you use for like a gallery or a stacked. This kind of just gives you the layout of those images, the separation between the two. You can do this through the actual editor itself, so you don't really have to use this section. Lastly, up here, you'll see that there's a desktop view, which is what we're on now, and then also a mobile view. You want to make sure any change that you make with desktop view that you go into mobile and you make sure that it looks good there. Okay, thank you for watching, and be sure to look out for the next video.